It's the time to get down.
That says they knew that the oil spill could produce up to 100,000 barrels a day.
Wow.
Into the Gulf of Mexico.
Wow. And, you know, you had already
100,000 barrels.
Well, you already had said something earlier. I mean, even going way back when the first spill occurred, that they're underreporting. You sized it up on this.
You know, they always do. First of all, don't you guys realize this? They always lie. So whatever they say, it's a matter of the multiple.
Right.
You know, remember, let me remind you, in the beginning, BP said it was 1,000 barrels a day.
That's a joke.
1,000 barrels a day.
That's a joke.
Okay, so now you got what? There's up to 100,000.
Yes.
So it's not 10 times, 100 times. See,
and you know you can always
100 times they lie. See. Typically with most liars, you say, "Well, he's lying." It's like they say, if they drink 3 beers, multiply it times 3.
Yeah,
it's 9. No, these assholes, it's 100 times. That's like saying they said they drank 3 beers, but they drank 300.
That's right.
Beers.
That's right. They did. They did. And
that's how big a lie these folks tell. Well, it's an internal document, you guys, and I went and got it. You can get it too. I put a link to it. If you go to our, online broadcast viewing rooms, and you can see the information. We have it where you can look at my online materials that I use on the air. You can look at my visual aids.
There you go, man. And you can always have a yacht, and then you just can vacation from the disaster and, enjoy your big yacht.
Well, okay, so this is the whole thing. We got their whole worst case scenario thing.
Yeah.
Nice type, lovely.
You're right.
Go get it yourself. If you don't know it, search it on Google. Search Ed Markey, Markey, BP internal document, and get that, okay? And get that and see what you think about that, because it's one of the things that people are talking about.
And the scary part about it, Mario, I think when you offer something like that for reading, I don't know if it's going to help. Because it's a reaction of something. In other words, here's the truth. Have everybody chase it. Once they get to it, all right, they say, okay, we got it. We got it. And now what next?
Well, that's to say, I don't know if any of this helps. Don't hear that every day. Lord. I need hope. Please don't tell me it don't help. Mac, we got to stay strong, Mac.
Hey.
You all I got. You got to give me some words.
Mac got 3 words for you. No, more than that. Mac he says his hope is porno in the bedpan.
Hey, man, I'm with you. Mac, you got to save up some of them old lies to tell us when times get rough. Can you please work on that, Mac? I need you to work on some of the old lies.
That's cool.
Right. That's the Mac McAllister, everybody, GNN. Go take a look. Retro Jazz and Blues, Mac show. You got to listen to the show. You got to listen. All right. Now, let me tell you guys, in an effort to expand our understanding of the impact that these kinds of oil spills and natural disasters actually cause, I went and did some search myself to look up other places, Vic. The roving reporter. Right. I called on my research team.
Right.
Come here, research team.
There you go.
Okay, we're coming, research. Come on, research team. And so I went and did some research, you guys, and I found out that there's been a terrible, terrible ongoing spill for decades in the Niger Delta. The Nigerian government estimates there have been over 7,000 spills between 1970 and 2000. That's according to the BBC. That's approximately 300 spills a year.
Wow.
Some of these spills have been leaking for years. Some estimates over 13 million barrels. Okay, that's the equivalent of 1 Exxon Valdez every year for 40 years. I'll say that again. They've been having the equivalent of 1 Exxon Valdez every year for 40 years. Why don't you hear about it? Because it's Africa.
Right. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, that had nothing to do with
Not
it.
At all. Nothing.
Oh, okay.
No concern.
All right.
All right.
Now, also, does it have anything to do with the fact that Nigeria is the 5th largest exporter of oil to the U.S.?
Right.
And the largest producer in Africa. And guess who they work with?
Oh, no.
Exxon Mobil.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and guess what? They have threatened Mobil with sanctions if the corporation fails to now, wait a minute. Vic, check this out.
Yeah, I already know.
Maybe I'm just Excuse me, I'm just an old boy from the ghetto.
40 years.
But I'm just saying, you're going to threaten them with sanctions now. After 40 years, the equivalent of one Exxon Valdez spill every year for 40. And now you're going to threaten, just now getting to the threat.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, you know,
If I could get a marriage deal like that, I'd be married.
40 years ago, that's for some folks that was like elementary school. You know, think about it. You were talking about Nixon back then. You know, all those. That's a long time.
And I got a video, I'm gonna show you that. I'm gonna show you something in a second, though. But check it out. So and the area is populated with about 31 million people. Wow. And they say that okay, there's also been problems. Let's see, Shell. Oh, they were supposedly, some of the oil companies have been blaming the oil spills on militant attacks, but that doesn't have anything to do with just the routine spills. Wow! And they say it's generated $600 billion in oil revenue. $600 billion. Let's take a look, you guys,
That's
at this video.
That's a lot.
Let's take a look, and by you guys want to take a look. I have some links here for you too that you can get to get more about it. It's links about the U.S. Actually collusion and these types of things, and how this is a worldwide thing, and you need to see how these companies work together against our best wishes.
Ifeanyi Ilali and his family of Bayelsa State in Nigeria's oil-rich Niger Delta region are taking on oil giant Royal Dutch Shell in an unprecedented legal battle. They could win millions of dollars in compensation after a pipeline spill destroyed their fish farms, their main source of income.
The worst thing that I feel that has happened to me in my life is this oil spill, because I just inherited these fish ponds from my father.
This is the kind of damage that was done. The water in the fish pond is thick with black oil. The Ilalis are now living on handouts from family and friends.
You can see the kind of house I'm living. This is, you can really look at it. You can't believe it. 60% of my life, the chance of survival, 60% of me and my children's chance of survival is in the hands of God.
Ifanga's oil spill case against Royal Dutch Shell is being closely watched by the people of the Niger Delta. Over the last 50 years, foreign oil companies have spilled up to 1.5 million tons of oil in Nigeria. But according to environmentalists, there have been hardly any successful legal cases against them and no compensation. Many feel that's because the Nigerian government partners with foreign oil companies in oil exploration. So pollution damage cases against them can never succeed in Nigerian courts, and none have. What makes Ifanga's case unique is that with the help of the organization Friends of the Earth, he's managed to get his case against Shell heard in the Netherlands, the home of Shell.
Knowing that Nigeria is in bed with Shell, that they are one, we just have to go to the father of Shell. We just have to go to the homeland of Shell. It is really pathetic when you go into the community.
Somebody needs to get shot.
How they suffer from the oil exploration and exploitation activities.
Ifanga feels further encouraged that he may get compensation for damage to his fish farms because of the reaction to the ongoing Gulf of Mexico oil spill involving the oil giant BP. He's astonished that fishermen there have already received compensation from BP and is pleased by the efforts made by the US government to bring the oil giant to account for the oil spill. Ifanga blames the Nigerian government for failing to protect the people of the Niger Delta from the activities of foreign oil companies.
Today you see the Niger Delta crisis. It's not Niger Delta versus oil companies. It's Niger Delta versus the federal government. What is causing this is because of the oil. And who owns this
governments?
Oil? It's the people from the Niger Delta.
That's right, governments.